Oh my god. Oh my god. How have I only just seen this? Ewok village, Moon of Endor. Right, I'm going. Going to the Ewok village. It's mine. It's my home. It's where I belong. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their entrances and their exits, and one man in his life will play many parts, his acts being 7 stages. So are we living in a simulation, or is this all real? The more you work in fooling and theatre, increasingly it becomes impossible to believe that this isn't a simulation. You know, it's like standing within a beautiful traditional looking theatre and building a beautiful traditional looking puppet show and be there like doing the puppet show and then just sort of stop and look up and go, hang on a minute, this looks exactly like that. And oh look, these are so cute. There's these lovely little stones all around the island. This one is up. That's so cute. Oh, someone's doing those and painting them and leaving them around the island. That's so lovely. Oh, I really want to go swimming, but the sea's actually looking a bit, yeah, that's looking a little bit wavy. I've just missed the high tide. Yeah. I only go swimming on my own if it's still. Oh, that's a shame. That's cool. I'm going for a walk instead. It's gorgeous. It's lovely and warm. Oh, that looks nice down there. So yeah, you know, the more you work with theatre, the more you realise that it just doesn't feel like there's any way that this can't be a play or a simulation or a game. So I like to fantasise that it's a computer game. I think that we're actually a bunch of enlightened beings that play this game as a way of kind of checking back in with our humanity, the messiness that is life, to have compassion, empathy. And I think it's really interesting that it feels like it's very 50-50, you know, like it's 50-50 sort of like good and bad, you know, because it just feels like there's this kind of like real tension that it feels quite equal, and so therefore it's got a real good game. You know, if it was predominantly evil or predominantly good, then we wouldn't have the conflict. And when you make theatre, when you do fooling, like theatre is conflict. Like there is no story without conflict. If you get some toddlers making a play and they're like, you know, you watch toddlers doing a play, they will never put conflict in it because they don't want to. They want everything to be nice. So they'll be like, oh, would you like to come to my shop? Yes, I make cake. Would you like a piece of cake? Yes, I'd love a piece of cake. Thank you. Here, have some cake. Thank you. Like, that's not a play. That's just a series of events. Whereas if you go, oh, I've got a shop. Would you like to come in? I make cake. Would you like a piece of cake? No, I'm gluten intolerant. Actually, I think it's dangerous for me to be in here. Then you've got to play. Like, then something's starting to happen. But you have no drama without drama. And the reason why I believe that on this planet we started to create drama, we started to do theatre, do these simulations, was so that we could process difficult emotions and conflicts that were coming up in our societies as they began to form, as a safe space to work through whatever the issues were. You know, we see it in indigenous tribes now, like often medicine plant ceremonies, you know, taking ayahuasca or cocaine, the cocoa plant, will come from, like, people will do it because there's some sort of conflict in the community. And so if there's been an argument, like, you know, fighting going on, they will all sit down and they'll chew the cocoa and they'll talk through what's happening. Or they'll do the ayahuasca and kind of connect with spirit and ask them for guidance and ask them for advice. But it will be ceremonial and it'll be performative. It won't just be sitting around. They will, like, dance and sing and move and drum and all of these things, and that's where all theatre and performances come from. So, swapping hands. Following that forwards, like, if we have in our world created this simulation, these plays, so that we can work through emotions. I mean, even if you think of like ancient Rome, you know, we were living kind of pretty brutally before that. I mean, the Vikings and the Normans and all of that, you know, rape and pillage, it was all that kind of vibe. And then the Romans created like what was the calmest society and civilization that we'd known up until that date. And they had the amphitheatre and they had the Colosseum. So, you know, in the streets it was more calm than it had ever been before. But there were like people and lions fighting in the Colosseum. So there was still the blood and guts and gore, but it was done in a safe space, or it was done, not safe for the people doing it, but it was within a contained space. It was within a circle. It's always the circle. The circle's a magical shape, a powerful shape. So you would create a circle, and within it, these things would get acted out and performed, or like actually happen. But out in the streets, it would be calm. And that's kind of why we would have football in a football stadium. And, you know, they're places where you can be aggressive and cry and scream, but, you know, and then you can go about your everyday life and be calm. And that's what theatre does for the performer. Like, I'm a drama queen, and if I didn't do theatre, then I would have been like getting up the duff, sleeping with the wrong people, like fighting with people. You know, I'm so prone to and created for drama that I had to actually physically do theatre. Otherwise, I would have been a fucking pain in the arse. I would have been a massive pain in the arse. So it's really important to have theatre in our lives to show us and teach us to think about lots of things that we then don't have to physically go and experience. You know, what does it feel like to murder? What does it feel like to be raped? What does it feel like to be greedy? And, you know, what happened? How do you overthrow a king? You know, all of these things are taught, shown and explored within theatre and film. But in theatre it's very powerful because it's physically happening in front of you. And then you would take that and you would go about your everyday life and not have to physically go do those things, you know, and it's kind of like it's a safe space to explore it all. And so I do feel like, considering how much we've created that ourselves, surely it's quite likely that this whole thing has been created as a safe space, as a circle within which all of these things are being explored for some other higher being that isn't, you know, enacting it out in their everyday lives. Like a computer game, like a play, whatever it is. It just feels like we've got a simulation within this simulation, which is theatre and film and computer games. So at what point do you go, well, hang on, are we not a simulation within someone else's reality? So that's my 2 pennies worth on that. There's some cows. Moo. Hello, cows. Yeah. Going down to the beach. I would love to go swimming because it's such a lovely day, but I promised my mummy I would only swim when it's still, and it's not very still down there now. I've just seen all my friends. It's Sunday today, and I did a ceremony, the dark moon ceremony last night, which was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. And I didn't go out afterwards, and so I didn't get drunk, and because we're out of lockdown now. And I just got a message from my squeeze, and I just bumped into my friend on the way home, and I'm really glad I didn't go out. Sounds like it was quite a messy night, and quite a lot of stuff happened. So yeah, this is a positive and a negative. The positive is when you get out of lockdown, guys, in the UK and anywhere else you are in the world, you're going to have a great time and you're all going to get twatted and it's going to be hilarious and you're going to have loads of fun. The downside is that you're going to go a bit mental and you might be prone to hurting yourself or drama. So yeah, just kind of, if you can, keep yourself centred. I'm really glad I did a dark moon ceremony last night and stayed centred, and then just went to bed. I really needed a good night's sleep. I hadn't had one for a few days. Now I feel great. I'm quite smug. So hope you're all well and hanging in there. It was a Pisces dark moon, so it's very emotional at the moment. So just, you know, let it wash through you and wash over you, and enjoy the creativity of this emotional landscape. But yeah, if you are feeling really emotional and overwhelmed, you probably are starting to feel better today because we're out of the Pisces moon now. And yeah, so it should be a little bit lighter. Huge love to you all. Speak to you again soon. Bye. Hello. Oh, look at you, you're so cute. You're so cute.